Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Wizards Outlook. Joined as always by Cardo Dudley Jr., Raymond Lyons, Wilson Tarpe Jr. Let's before we get started, as always, quick word from my folks over at Uzanas. As a reminder, man, Thanksgiving is counting down the days. Get over to Uzanas Thanksgiving feast available for pickup Wednesday, November 24th from 12 to 3 p.m., 3 to 6 p.m., or 6 to 9 p.m. So you got three windows for pickup times. $89.95 for a fried turkey that's 12 to 15 pounds, $40 half pan of stuffing, $75 full pan of stuffing. Also available for pickup daily. You just got to order 24 hours in advance. Again, get over to oozandodds.com/Thanksgiving. All right, Cardell, we'll start with you. Just your initial thoughts on this one. The Hornets kind of turned up in the second half, and they beat the Wizards 97-87.
The third quarter, the Wizards shot themselves to a loss. It's simple to me. They settled for a lot of three-pointers. I'm not going to say all of them were bad shots. A few of them were within rhythm, within the flow of the offense, and you got to take those. But, we talked about this before. You got to feel, you got to know when you're off, man. You got to know when you don't have it. And most of the team, they haven't. Matter of fact, outside of Bill, nobody had it. As a team, they shot 19% from three. What people don't realize, when you shoot a bunch of three-pointers, if you miss, it's a long rebound. And against a team like Charlotte that loves to get out and run, they're third in the NBA in pace, one of the best teams in the league in scoring and transition. With the athletes they have, obviously with LaMelo, with his passing ability and finishing ability. You know what I mean? He's a one-man fast break in his own right. Then you got the wings and the bigs that can run that they have. That's what turned the game around. They missed a bunch of threes, and Charlotte got out and ran, and they scored. And then I think they went on a 21-2 run to close the third. And the Wizards only scored 14 points, and Charlotte scored 30. The other two quarters, Washington won the first and second quarter, and it was tied in the fourth. They literally lost the game in that third quarter with their three-point miss. And when you're missing shots, it puts more pressure on your defense. But guess what? When the other team is out and running, you don't have a set defense. You know what I mean? So that lost the game, man. It is what it is. I just that's what kind of irks me about this period in the NBA. You gotta know when you are, man. When nobody's hitting three, you gotta go to something else. Go to the mid range. Montrez had it going. Gav had it going early. Go through your post sometimes. You sometimes you gotta switch your southpaw, man. You can't just keep doing the same things. It's not working. Go somewhere else to keep it flowing a little bit, then go back to that. See if you can get going. Like Bill, he started getting going, but it was just too late. For me, the fast break points, Charlotte had 19. I guarantee you most of those was in the third. So outside of that period, the Wizards were fine. They were on their way to the 6-win. It's just that one bad quarter, and that goes to show you, man. It's just that's the NBA, man. You can't give a team life, because when you got them on the ropes and then they get life and get confident, you can end up losing. You looking back like, damn, we gave one away. And that's basically what they did to me. Like I said, Kuz 2 for 12. Sheesh. Dinwiddie 0 for 5. Caldwell Pope 1 for 6. Whew. Rough night. Like I said, Gav had it going 20-9, career night, 9-12. Trez 6-9, 15-9. This was a game, we're gonna go through our bigs, man. They got it going. Charlotte bigs ain't want no parts of that. Let's rumble. Let's see how this goes. This is a game that you should have rolled your bigs to a win, and I just felt like they didn't do a good enough job recognizing that. They want to figure something else out, man. They want to figure something out. They got Miami tomorrow, and it doesn't get much easier. Matter of fact, it's gonna get worse. If they bring this type of performance tomorrow, they won't just lose one quarter. They're gonna lose a lot more quarters in the game.
Right.
Yeah, man, they let Charlotte off the hook. And Charlotte kind of flipped the script on the Wizards. Typically, recently we've been seeing the Wizards being that team that's just kind of hanging around and waiting to make their move, and that's what Charlotte did tonight. The first half it was kind of back and forth, but the Wizards pretty much was in the lead for the majority of it, and then in the third quarter, Charlotte just that was the game right there, like Cardell said. The Wizards just depending on the 3-point shot, and they're leaning on it when it's not working. Like there's yeah, you got to switch it up at some point. You got to realize that you got to go to plan B. And then like they could have just been aggressive and getting to the basket because they were getting to the free throw line. Charlotte only shot 6 free throws tonight. The Wizards shot 16, but they took 42 threes. You erase some of those and try to get to the basket and get to the line. Once you see those free throws going in, then maybe the basket opens up a little bit for you. You got to find some way to get some rhythm because this just wasn't a night where you can shoot yourself out of it. And yeah, man, that's basically what it was. And they didn't give themselves a chance on the other end because Charlotte was just getting runouts off the long rebounds. That's you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot at that point. So, I think they just didn't pivot, and once things started to go south, and from that point on, it was just all Charlotte's game. These type of games happen, man. You just got to go back to the drawing board and learn from it. I'm not sure if it was kind of a shell shock to have Brad back. I'm not going to chalk it up to that because he had been with the team prior, and they've played well. So it's just a bad game, man. It happens. But the lesser of these instances we have, I'm pretty sure the happier everyone will be. But yeah, this is a win. This is a game you got to get. It's a up and coming team. You're trying to establish yourself as one of the better teams in the league, and these young guys are coming, and you're gonna have to see them again. So yeah, man, this is when they let get away, and you really can't have a lot of these on your record, because you start forming habits, and if this becomes anything close to the norm, this is going to be a long season. I have no fear of that happening. It's a one-off. I can only remember maybe one other game like this so far this season. So yeah, man, you just chalk it up to that, and you look at film, see what you did wrong, and come back strong. Fortunately, they don't have long to sulk in it. They got to get right back to business tomorrow. And like Cardell said, if they bring this type of game against Miami, it's going to be a whole lot worse. But I'm confident in their ability to rebound. They've shown that they can they can come back strong after a loss. So yeah, I'm just anxious to see what they do tomorrow night.
Yeah, like everything you guys laid out, they don't have a lot of time to think about it, which is a good thing. Get a chance to get right back out there. Like one of the first things I think I was putting through the game is just too many threes. Like Cardell mentioned, there were some that were definitely in rhythm. There were just as many where you're like, why? We've seen in past games where you went down and you got back into it because you have, for the most part, on the floor throughout the game, you have at least 2 or 3 people that are able to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. And, I know Charlotte went to the zone a couple times, but you let them off the hook because, yeah, they went to a zone, but you could have still attacked the basket. That's a choice. And, you let them, you played into their hands when they passed it in. Because, again, like Cardell said, it wasn't like it was a bigger team that went into a zone where there's some elite rim protector down there or something. It's Plumlee and Richards. Like Gaff had 16 at the half. Which I don't know if it was a career high at the half, but it was a season high at the half. He was well on his way. A lot of that was Beal driving and just dumping the ball off, finding him, him moving without the balls. There was no reason to go away from it when they were trying to get back, like both you guys mentioned. Quick dump off the trays, like go inside. And what we've seen through this season is sometimes they get themselves in trouble is when they get away from attacking. And they settle, and then they end up, recently we've seen them kind of, be able to stick with it and bounce back. But it starts with attacking on the defensive end and attacking the basket. They have to continue to do those 2 things. Otherwise, you have nights like this. And like Cardell mentioned, he went through the 4 quarter point totals. It was 1 quarter. But again, 21, was it 21-2 run or 23-2 run?
21-2.
21-2. And literally in that third, in that stretch, it was bad threes to a team that Charlotte they run on makes. So when you take long threes, like, I don't know, I think LaMelo had 14 assists tonight. I guarantee you at least half of those things were baseball passes. During that run, just launching that thing. Bridges is on the other end catching them. People just running the floor. It's how Charlotte plays. Like you mentioned, there's a reason they're that high in pace. And you let a young team off the hook, and what you can't do tomorrow and Saturday is fall into that trap and set up for threes against Miami. That's not a young team. You might not be afforded the luxury of sticking around that long, or they're going to be able to lengthen that lead when you get to those stretches when you're tripping and set up for threes. Like, what was it? It took 42 threes tonight.
Out of 90 shots, bro. Half their shots for 3 points. That's ridiculous. And I guess that's what's eating at me a little bit about this game is because the veterans, this is a veteran team, man. They should know better. Come on, dog. Like, when you don't have it, and your teammate don't have it. So, dog, nah. You know what? Dinwiddie has been doing a great job. Look, maybe he was due for one, but he normally organizes. Nah. Look, nobody's shooting well. Let's run something for Gav, pick and roll. Come up, Trez. Come up, Gav. Let's do something. Bill, go ahead. Attack, dog. Like, don't settle. Like, attack. Because literally, I don't think people understand. Kuzma 2 for 12. Dinwiddie 0 for 5. Caldwell Pope 1 for 6. Denny 2 for 9. Neto 1 for 6. Aaron Holiday 1 for 6. Like, none of the core veteran guys hit shots. You're not going to win. And with that being said, they still had a chance to win. So if they can handle business in that third quarter, you know what I'm saying? And now, see, everybody happy because they got a good record. See, these are the type of L's that send you the other way because now you got some dogs. You about to play a few dogs in a row. You got to see Miami tomorrow, again on Saturday. Then you got Charlotte at the crib again Monday. What if you lose all of those games, all 4 of those games? That 10-7 look a lot different than 3.
My bad. The way the East looking, you're going to go from the top of the standings to the bottom. And again, just to piggyback a little bit more. So Kuzma took 12 shots, like Cardell said, 2 for 12. 8 of the 12 were threes. You're 6'10" wide, right? Denny did play well, he rebounded well, played solid defense. All right, cool, great. Another guy, you're 6'9". 7 of your 9 shots were threes. This is the issue here. There's no reason to it. It's not like you're not capable. Like, that's the part that's frustrating because you got a bunch of 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" dudes that can put it on the floor to at least drive and get a jab to the basket. And the worst part is it's not like it was a game where you weren't getting calls. Yeah, 16 free throws. Charlotte had, I think Ray said 5, something like that. Let me pull it up. I'm sorry.
6. They was 3 for 6.
So you were the one getting the benefit of the whistle. It's absurd to keep jacking shots when you're getting the whistle. Again, it's not a knock on Nick Richards or Plumlee, but again, it's Richards and Plumlee down there. What are you doing? Why are you bailing them out? It's tough. Like Cardell said, that's the increasingly frustrating part for me is, you tack on the fact that it's a bunch of veterans that have been through some things, seen some things. There was no reason, like, as soon as you got to missing, 2 or 3 threes, like, Kuz, I don't want to see you taking 8 threes unless you got it going. And again, you were 2 for 12. There was no reason to jack up 8 threes. But it's a very long season. They got a tough one tomorrow night. You got a tough one on Saturday. And like Cardell said, you see these guys again, I think, to start next week. So, your biggest thing here is this is a lesson you need to take from it because we're getting to the point where we told you guys at the beginning of the year, want to get to see these teams, 10, 15 games through the season, 20, get an idea of who they are, what it's going to look like this season. And all we're simply saying this is a trend. It's not yet a trend, but this is something that has happened a couple times this season where they've settled for too many threes and it has cost them. And again, it hurts in this one because it was one quarter. But again, that was, you take away, say you shoot 10 less threes inside the basket, that might be at least nine more trips for the line, which slows a team that likes to play at hyper speed down because you're at the line. But, again, Gonna get to you guys. Ray, we'll start with you, player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, because like it's not like nobody really jumped out at me, you know. It because I feel like the Wizards lost this game. But for sake of answering the question, I think I go Scary Terry, man. He had a couple moments there where especially during that run where he kind of picked it up offensively and was able to hit some shots and get it going. I think he kind of sparked them. So I'll give it to him.
All right, Cardell.
Yeah, same. He had some big shots late that really kept the Hornets on the front and ultimately won the game. So he closed. So you got to give it to him.
Yeah, I would just go play Terry for sure. During that run, he was huge. Definitely put him away late in the fourth. A couple baseline jumpers, hit a late three. I thought Miles Bridges had a really solid night too. 17 to 10, 5 assists. X factors. Carter, we'll start with you with this one.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm a rubber guy for man. He was an X factor. Like he had it going. They just ain't go to him. Like he had it going. He was killing inside 20 and 9, 9 to 12. Blocked 2 steals. He was active defensively. Like when they went through him, things were good. You know what I'm saying? It was all good. It was easy. This could have been the night the guards could have chilled. Like, yeah, let's ride these days. Like, literally, I'm gonna ride y'all tonight because I know we going to be on our game tomorrow. Like, this is the game. So he was the X factor because without his production, I don't know. The Hornets might have turned up early. In the first half. So, I'm gonna give it to him.
All right, how about you, Ray?
Yeah, man, I go Gaff. And it sucks that they kind of the Wizards kind of put out his fire for the Hornets. Because he was dominant in the first half, and they came out in the third quarter and just got 3-point happy. So who knows what happens if they continue to ride that high hand, or at least try to get them involved in some way. We've seen previously when if they get them in a pick and roll, then it causes problems for the opposing team. Because he's a lob threat and they got choices to make. Especially with if Dinwiddie or Bill was handling the ball in that instance. So yeah, man, he kind of got things going, but unfortunately when they came on the third quarter, I guess the men in black was in the locker room at halftime and just neuralized them. They forgot what was going on in the first half. So yeah, man, I'll give it to Gav.
I'll triple down with you guys on Gav because he was 9 to 12. You just had to keep feeding him. There was no reason to stop. And we know he doesn't have a great post-up game and whatnot, but there's a couple times he got the ball down on the low block and was successful. But why? Like, I really don't get it. I'm with you guys. There was no reason. And as much as, we have some issues with Heat, we have seen him have issues sometimes with picking up fouls and things of that nature. For the most part, he stayed out of foul trouble tonight, which makes it, again, it's just one of those things where it's increasingly frustrating because he didn't do damage to himself to take himself off the floor. Just stop going inside. But again, we got a couple of comments. My God, be Nizzle. Trap game tonight. We big game hunting going forward. Looking forward to the Heat.
Why he's saying it's a trap game? I mean, look, man, please. Look, the Wizards off to a nice start, but it ain't like they're the Bucks, though. Just reality. It's a trap game for the Bucks. They're champs. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you trying to establish a culture of just putting together like 50 plus wins in a season and trying to make a deep run in the playoffs, there's no such thing as a trap game. Every game is important because you haven't done anything yet as a team. So. Nah, it wasn't a trap game. You can't look at it like that. Like Charlotte's beneath you. Then, they just beat them. You know what I'm saying? So you can't say that at all.
Ray, you want to chime in, or you about the same place with that?
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength. Like they're not in a place where they can kind of overlook anything on the schedule. They got to come into every game and give maximum effort and be ready to play at 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 the highest level. They're they're a new team. They got to they don't have a really have identity yet. So they got to go ahead and and come out every game with a mindset that they got to get this one.
And he followed me up with, "You got to eat what's on your plate." Yeah, I'm gonna just chime in with. I definitely agree with that. You got to take your business at hand. And as cliche as it is for Washington, like Cardell said, despite the high start, it's one game at a time, all the way until we get to the end of the regular season. They are not in a place to look up, down, pass. I'm talking, you can't even look 2 games past anybody. Yeah, Cardell, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. We're seeing it. So again, talking about trap games, Washington is not in a place to have the luxury of calling or looking at anyone in the NBA as a quote unquote trap game, because sticking within their own division, they're still one of the top the standings at 10-4. Yeah, you only have one. I'm sorry, Charlotte's 2 games back of you. They're in the same division. Miami, who you play tomorrow night, they're beating the Pelicans. They'll have that's gonna be their 3rd consecutive win. They'll have 10 wins tonight, and they see you twice in 3 days. Yeah, you're not in the place, especially in this division, to look at anything as a trap game. Like you said, gotta eat what's on your plate. It's one game at a time. The rest of the way out, they haven't proved anything. It's just a good start. And the only teams that have that luxury is when you've proven it already.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like the old saying that Bill Russell always he kind of put out there, and that I love. He was like, "Yo, if you gotta play the game, we might as well win it." You know what I'm saying? Like, that should be the mentality that every time you step on the floor, you haven't done nothing. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, all you doing to the rest of the league is like they just looking at you like, okay, they hooping over there. All right. So when we see them, we gonna be ready. You know what I'm saying? That's it. But it ain't like you beating the Nets and the Bucks and them by 30 every game and stuff. You just beating the hell out of them and stuff. And it's just like, oh, what's going on over there in DC? You ain't there yet. So you got to keep, and these wins don't help. So, especially like a young team like this, you got to be careful with young teams, man, because they got confidence, but they have youthful ignorance. Let me just say that, like, they don't realize what's at stake yet. They
don't know no better.
They just hooping, and they can hoop and mess around and bust your ass, and you be like, just like tonight, they came in the 3rd and ran y'all off the floor. Now y'all like, what the heck? You looking up at the scoreboard like, yo, what happened, dog? Like, it can turn, man. So one thing the Wizards have done great this season is they haven't read their press clippings, so to speak, man. They've always stayed even keeled. Like, we got to get back in. Like, what was the other day when they played the Pelicans? Okay, so they played the Pelicans on Monday. They actually practiced before that day. And I'm like, I can't remember the last time. I'm like, yo, y'all practiced before the game? I'm like, my man Wes Unseld. Yeah, like, that's still hammering home, like, we ain't done nothing yet. We got to keep winning. Luckily for them, this win is easily identifiable where they lost today. It's not like a multitude of things that just fell apart. Just bad shot selection. So if they clean that up, they still right there. Because like I said, any bad shot selection against any team, you're gonna make it tougher for yourself to win. And I know they're gonna be, and honestly, they could have been looking at Miami, kind of past Charlotte, looking at Miami a little bit, kind of as a measuring, trying to measure themselves against, like, all right, let's see where we really at. You know what I mean? But you can't do that. You got to handle business now, and then get to Miami when you get to them.
Yeah, and just to continue on that a little bit, like, yeah, they're 10-4. Just looking inside the division, they're 2-2. Charlotte's 2-1 in the division. Just because these little things reflecting back to last year. Sometimes these little things, dropping a game here and there, they add up later. And like that's my biggest thing is we saw that firsthand last year. And obviously this is a much better start, totally different team, all of those things. But you had a chance tonight to go to 3-1 in the division. You had a chance tonight to be 5-2 away, which would have been huge in your division because Miami hasn't started rolling on the road yet. Miami, as of right now, they're 5-4 in the road. I guess they'll be 6-4 tonight. They're the only team in the division outside of Washington. There's only 2 teams in the division right now with a winning road record. So, like, yeah, you need to stack all those things in your favor early because it's a long season. The last thing you want is to be like last year where you get to somewhere late and a loss to Charlotte cost you home court later in the year. Not saying that this is what this is, but you never know what's going to cost you if you don't take care of business. Like Ardell said, great Bill Russell. That quote is real. You might as well win. You won 3 quarters and like you were fine for 3 quarters a night. 1 quarter put you under. Can't afford that. That's just reality. You can't afford that. You're not at that place to afford that. And also, just good teams don't have that mentality. They have the mentality Cardell was mentioning. You got to take care of business, regardless of the opponent. Because Miami, they got these 2 games against Washington. I'm sure, they're looking at Washington measuring stick as well, just like Washington's looking. Because Washington's currently first place in the division. So, if Miami can take those 2 games, it speaks volumes for Miami. But they're housing the Pelicans right now. They're taking care of it. You had to take care of New Orleans to get to Washington. So it's just that. Last time he had got to get 30 wins before 20 losses.
Okay, I don't know what to say. Man, I feel you. I guess I feel you.
As a heck of a projection, it's one night. We'll see you guys tomorrow night and later this weekend. As we got the kind of like the home and homes with Miami, where it's in Miami tomorrow, in DC Saturday. So we'll see you guys then. Have a